So I want to make a comment about this book and the other books. It's the Maze Runner trilogy, and I don't have the Maze Runner right here. It's already packed. I have Scorch Trials here, and then Death Cure. I'm almost at the end of Scorch Trials. I'm at like page 314. Yeah, and I want to make the comment that I watched the first movie. I saw the Maze Runner, and I saw the books at Tesco for like 3 for £10 or something. So I was like, I'm gonna buy them. I'm a sucker for book deals, and this is, I mean, it was like £3 a book, so I mean, can't go wrong there. But so I read the Maze Runner. It was cool. The Maze Runner was really cool, and I'm not really good with scary, but scary books are okay because you don't see anything, you just read words. Gonna admit that I had some nightmares while reading Divergent and Insurgent. I had some freaky, like, crawl action stuff, like the thing she goes through with the serum and stuff. I had some freaky nightmares that weren't very pleasant. Anyway, Scorch Trials. So I'm reading the second book, and seriously, if you read this, I'm like, Hunger Games is like a breeze. If you read this and you compare it to the Hunger Games, I'm like, I'll volunteer, seriously, because it's insane. A lot of really strange and cruel and not human things happen in these books. And I didn't have any nightmares yet, so that's really good. Maybe I'm taking everything with a grain of salt because it's kind of ridiculous, everything that happens. And like the Hunger Games is like a game, and like they have like supporters, and if they need something, that like a little parachute comes flying through the air, and wow, everything's better. Kind of. Everyone dies, but doesn't matter. Not everyone dies in this book. Oh, sorry, by the way, hashtag spoiler alert. No, just kidding. Not everyone dies in this book, but this is like real life. They're like being, it's kind of a game, but they don't know it. And, okay, so when I first heard of the Hunger Games, I thought it would be like the actual Hunger Games throughout like 3 books. So it would take like a really long time to get out of the Hunger Games. But it wasn't. The Hunger Games was finished. Like the games, the actual games were like finished like halfway through the book or something. And I was like, oh, okay, what's gonna happen now then? But the games never end. No, that's true. So, it's kind of the same. I mean, it's the same concept. Like, a 16-year-old boy changes everything and wants to fight the system and blah, blah, blah. It's just kind of real life, and it's just, like, weird, and the world is messed up again. As always in these kinds of books. But yeah, it's crazy. But, I have to say, about these books, I don't know what happened, because, okay, so I'm trying to read like 50 books in 1 year, and I'm like at like 10 or something, I don't know. It's like halfway through a year, and I haven't read a lot of books. I have read a lot of books for my, I don't know, I've read, I don't know, I like what I've read. Anyway, I was kind of like, getting really into reading again, and then I stopped being into reading, and then I was like, I just want to get into it again, so I read Deathly Hallows. Whenever something like that happens to me, I always read a book that I know, and that I know I love, so I can get through it easily. And Twilight Breaking Dawn, and Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban, and now Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows are books like that. But the thing is, it's kind of strange because Deathly Hallows and Breaking Dawn are like 500-600 pages books. Why would I read that as a light read? But I just love it, and I read it in like a week. And for me, it's really quick because I see people who, like, my friend was here and she started a book before she went to bed, and then in the morning we were like, oh, you can take a book with you. And she was like, oh, but it's already finished. And I was like, how is that possible? I want to read that quick too. How? I get so frustrated because, I don't know. Anyway, what I wanted to say, these books, I read them really fast. These you just go through them. I don't know what happened, but it's going a little slow now because I've been reading this book for like 2 weeks. But I mean, I've worked too and kind of a life. So, and I'm leaving the Netherlands, or I'm leaving the UK. So, anyway, yeah, like the first book I had like in like 2 days. I finished it in like 2 or 3 days or something. So, I mean, that's pretty good. Yeah, and Scorch Trials, I mean, I have another, like, I don't know, 40 pages, so I'll probably read it tomorrow. Let me think. Yeah, tomorrow. And then I'm going to, I'm starting in The Death Cure, just to get everything out of the way. And this has even less pages. This is like, 328. And the first one was like 360 or something, I don't know, 370. So I'm reading this on the boat because I'm going by boat on Saturday. Yeah, so it's great. I hope you're still watching this because I've been rambling and rambling and rambling.